Leonis07 versus Boxmeister. So this is not a four-way race. We have two races going side by side. My name is Tokuhiro, and my
This is
co-commentator.
Swigglebulge here.
Thank you very much for joining. Indeed, helping out with this.
Most certainly, always not to watch races and commentate.
Yeah. As much as I'd love to give a brief detailing of the plot, we're already very quick into the action here. So you'll notice the runners are doing a lot of menuing right now. They are performing a very important and unique glitch to the PSP version of the game here, and I'll let Suiko, I guess, give a brief explanation on the technicals of it.
So pretty much what it is, as you see through when they first started up, they went through their settings. They switched everything to memory cursor on, dash always on, as well as fast text speed to make sure we get through text boxes as fast as possible. The most important thing of that is to make sure that we do have the cursor set to memory. As we saw as they were going through their equipment, they bought one hammer, which for the weapon slot has a number set to it, if I'm not mistaken. And because of the PSP cursor, we can set it to where when we push either the left shoulder button or the right shoulder button and set another party's member to, like as they showed, the gloves or the chest, it comes up as knight armor when pushed on the same frame to bring up the menu, which lets us equip knight armor to everybody and and you'll see that as the game goes on with various other weapons and armor.
Yeah, yes, it's a very overpowered glitch. If you miss it the first time, if you look coming up, looks like Canucker and Box will be the first two to get it. They're picking up the leather cap here, and they're going to use that to glitch the judgment staff onto their weapons here. The judgment staff was I believe it was a weapon, correct me if I'm wrong, that was added to the PSP version from fighting the super boss Cornelia.
I'm not sure which super boss, sadly. I never was able to play the PSP version till now, so I'm not exactly sure when it was added.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but a lot of the reason why this glitch is so overpowered as it is because by finding very specific items throughout the overworld or buying very specific items in the shop, we can just glitch these very strong intended post-games for the vanilla at least here. So the judgment staff for right now, they're just using this to whack light bulbs onto Garland and knock him down before he knocks us down. It would take Garland a very long time to knock us down, though, given that all of our characters are using knight's armor at the moment.
Yes, it would, but we got Leonis and Boxmeister and Canucker got them all down, and CreativeEly is just getting up to him.
Looks like Ellie's getting a little bit of bad encounter luck RNG here, and that's going to be something that's going to be very relevant as we go through this race here. Because we have access to this overpowered equipment glitch, as far as survivability is concerned and gear, we're all set. So really, there's very little in terms that we need for levels and going out of our way to make sure that we're properly set up for these bosses. So really, the biggest factor that slows a lot of these races down is the encounter luck and just what sort of encounters you find through the overworld here.
Most certainly. Now we got the bridge building for 3 of the races, and CreativeEly just getting to Sarah.
It's going to be a really quick, but you'll get another chance when Ellie gets to the bridge here. Pay very close attention to the bottommost worker that's right next to the guy overseeing the bridge construction, and compare how fast he's moving to everyone else on the screen. So, well, that's just a little fun thing I always like to point out there. So it looks like all our other racers are making their way out there, and Leonis is the first one to the bridge. And this is a unique quality of life change that was added to the PSP version. We can skip cutscenes, so we save even further time because that bridge cutscene is like about a minute and a half, I believe, if you don't skip it. And
yeah.
I feel that pain every single time on GBA when I'm playing that there because I can't skip that cutscene. All right, so so a little bit of catch up on the plot on the plot now that we have a little bit of downtime here as our racers are making our way to Provoca. We were tasked by the king to rescue the princess from Garland, and by doing so, the king believes us to be the 4 warriors of light, and then so he tasks us with restoring the light to the 4 crystals here. So a lot of this early game is based around just fetch questing and plot progression as through this early game here. So there's not a whole lot we can go at the moment as we make our way into Provoca for the pirate fight.
And as you can see, they're all just going right to the pirate fight. After this, they will go down to the item shop and sell some of that night armor we got for potions. And this is another thing about the judgment staff that makes it really nice for us to get early on. It has the on use of flare, which takes out the pirates in one whole fell swoop, thankfully. And Leonis and Canucker get through the pirate fight fairly easily, with Boxmeister right behind them.
Yeah, so the judgment staff does cast the flare spell. So even early on, when we don't have a lot of intelligence to scale that damage, flare is just such an overpowered spell. It can just take out a lot of these early encounters for us. And it looks like Leo and Canucker are going to be doing a different variant of the. So I guess routing is a topic point here. So I believe all of these racers are doing the Lust Dagger route here, which is a more recent version of the glitch there. But I believe Leonis and Canucker are doing a slightly older White Mage version where they buy a few more items to get items that cast magic spells, and they'll use their White Mage as their primary damage dealer. And I believe that's because I did see them grab Leather Shield on the way. I believe Boxmeister, and I'm not sure which one Ellie was doing, but I believe Boxmeister is doing the more recent Black Mage route.
And as you saw, Leonis tried to do the puzzle ship. I'm not sure if he got the emergency exit, though.
I did not. I believe I saw an elixir there.
Oh.
So that's a bit unfortunate.
Yes,
yeah.
It's a time loss. It's a great time save you get the emergency exit. Whenever we get through with Vampire, we can use it coming up. Once we get through with the Elfland fetch quests, we can use it to immediately escape from Earth Cave instead of having to backtrack all the way through it.
Yeah, so it is unfortunate. It is a time loss there, but that is a risk you take when you do the 15 puzzle. It's much more so of a risk in the PSP version of the game because of how short the run is. If you don't get that 1 in 6 emergency exit drop, you're just down a 30-second time loss. But with how RNG goes in this game, that 30 seconds can quickly be made up at different points in the run just through unfortunate encounter luck, or you can easily make that all back if you have good encounter luck. So Leo is certainly not out of this race yet.
No, and Boxmeister is the first to make it. Has Canucker already been down to... Oh no, Canucker just gained Elfland.
Just got to Elfland for the first time.
Yes, Boxmeister is the first to enter Marsh Cave. And thankfully, unlike the original release, I'm not sure about the GBA version, they drastically reduced the encounter rate of Marsh Cave, thankfully.
In GBA, it's still fairly light encounter rate, but I do recall, if I recall correctly, PSP did have some tweaks to how they handle random encounters that did lower the random encounter rate compared to GBA. So it's overall, I believe it's the difference of if you were running through the Marsh Cave as they are now in PSP, you will maybe see a grand total of 3 encounters in both directions, versus in GBA you might see 3 on the way a total of 5 or 6. You'll maybe see like 3 on the way down, 3 on the way back.
And Boxmeister is the first against the Pisco Demons. This is a fourth encounter that we do have to take. I mean, anywhere between 2 to 4. You normally want to see 4 for the EXP route. So that way, hopefully, your Black Mage and White Mage can get to level... Your Black Mage, more than anything, get level 7 to purchase Fyra and Thundara on the way back out in Elfland.
I believe it's level 8 to get the level 3 magic. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. You could be right. So, Box is the first one to pick up the crown there. There from that item chest. That is our plot progression fetch quest item that we're using, and so we're going to be backing track out of Ice Cave as Leo now is coming up in his Pisca Demon fight.
Exactly, we're going to take to the Canucker King in the Western Keep.
I just noticed Leo's names. That should have been a very big hint that he was planning to do puzzle.
I haven't caught his name yet. I sadly wasn't paying attention to it.
You'll see shortly. So it looks like Ellie and Canucker unfortunately got the two. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, it depends on which version of the route they're doing. Oh, the White Mage goes down for Ellie.
That is not good.
Yeah, depending on which version of the Lust Dagger route, that might be bad for the White Mage's intelligence growth. For as far as the magic damage is concerned, it's not a run killer by any means. It's certainly recoverable, especially this early on. The Thief and the Black Mage are the two characters that are arguably the most important for this route, because they're we are specifically watching their HPs in preparation for the chaos fight at the very end of the game. So
Boxmaster is turning in his crown, and apparently the king in Western Keep was actually Astos. And Box got really good RNG for the death there, with the warrior going down. Of any of them, because the warrior is thankfully on really that help with damage for the thief, as well as facilitate the equipment glitch.
Yeah, the warrior has the convenience of being able to I guess be the hope. So for the equipment glitch, what you need someone that can equip the original equipment, and then you need someone who can receive the glitch equipment. And the warrior has the benefit to the run of he can equip a lot of the equipment by default in the game. So it'll allow us to use the warrior to basically glitch a lot of the equipment onto our parties. And the fortunate part is that a character does not need to be alive to do that in the equipment menu. Additionally, the warrior is just there mostly to be our primary tank. It looks like Ellie got bad luck on the Astos fight there with the Black Mage going down. I'm not sure when that happened, because I see now that, ooh, okay, that's really unfortunate, that death on Thief and the Black Mage being dead. Okay, that's going to set them a little bit behind as far as EXP and such there, but fortunately we do make it up later in the run when we do an experience grind, but that might throw off the experience needed to grab Fyra and Thundara if the Black Mage is going to be the primary magic damage dealer.
And looks like besides Ellie, everyone's out of the... Leonis just got through with his Astos fight.
I guess another thing we should mention is that why they're not healing their Thief and their Warrior to full HP.
Oh yes, as we get through here, and we don't want actually want to kill them off at some point later on in the run. With when we get to the eye grind, as the only ones we want to have get EXP during that is the white mage and the black mage, as this game does have the EXP share, where it's divided between all 4 party members. So with Thief and the Warrior dead, we get more levels on the black mage and white mage, and we have to grind a little less.
Yeah, it's all a lot of what we do in this early game is to help facilitate later points.
Oh, Canucker is a little too low on level to pick up Fyra and Thadari. He's got to go out and get something to adjust.
Yeah, that is unfortunate that they're probably just shy on the EXP, so looks like he's going to just be grabbing the gold needles now since he's here, and I don't believe he's gone take the trip up to Matoya's cave yet to grab the Jolt tonic, so I guess we'll have to be looking for counters on the way, up and back down.
Most certainly. And Box, I do believe, is the first to make it to Matoya's cave. The blind witch right now.
Looks like Ellie is opting to delay the trip back into Elfheim since the Black Mage and the Thief did go down. They're currently behind on levels in EXP. So a lot of this early game is just a lot of back and forth fetch questing, which was kind of indicative of the old NES RPGs, where in order to expand out their content, they had you do a lot of fetch questing back and forth. So a lot of all this early game is just to help get us out of this little isolated area. If you were to sail around in the ship, you would find you actually wouldn't have very far to go because you're currently landlocked into this body of water. Box making his way back to Elfland now, or Elfheim, excuse me. Gonna be delivering the Jolt tonic to the Elven Prince. Canucker is following suit, shortly behind. Looks like Leonis is getting some bad encounter luck, as he was ahead of Ellie in their race, but Ellie was able to get to Matoya before Leonis was.
Well, certainly, it all depends on how well your encounter luck goes as you go through the game. You can get a lot of, well, not so much unrunnable encounters. You get a lot of, especially because the way the overworld works, forest tiles have the highest encounter rate. Then I do believe it goes plains, then lake, and then rivers being the lowest, or ocean, which CreativeEly is on right now, is the lowest encounter rate of all the overworld places.
That's very good. There, Ellie got a Sahagin Chief encounter, which is normally very annoying because they usually move. They have enough agility in that they would usually take turns before your party even. Later on, we will equip the glitch equipment to help facilitate this, but they will usually move before your party there, and so you'll have to wait for them to take their turns before you get the chance to run. So a preemptive strike on Sahagins is always welcome to see.
Most certainly, in Boxmeister is just completing his second equipment glitch to equip thief armlets onto the head, body, and accessory of all of his party members, as well as giving the thief and white mage their sage's staffs.
So we switched from the knight's armor, which gave us a lot of defense, but weighted us down and made it so that we're not terribly likely to dodge. The thief armlets fall into kind of a category of lighter / magic style armor, if you could think of it in a fantasy tabletop sense. As you'll see, Canucker is currently glitching those thief armlets onto his party right now. They give us bonus to our agility score, and that agility, because we're glitching so many of them onto our party stacks. So this allows us to not only be more likely to move first in the turn order, but also facilitates our ability to escape from encounters.
Exactly, and Boxmeister picked up his nitro powder, which we're going to get which a little bit of story progression as well now. Now that we've got a little bit of time. We went to the Matoya's cave to give her the crystal eye back, which then let us get the jolt tonic from her to wake up the elf prince, who then gave us the mythic key to let us open up all these locked rooms, which Boxmeister just got the nitro powder from in Cornelia Castle, which now we're going to go take to the dwarves, where we can make a canal and finally get out of this landlocked area that we're in.
Looks like Ellie is taking a quick detour to buy some safety gold needles, as Leo is currently making his way to the Elven Prince. Got some really bad luck on the water there. Had a lot of encounters that I saw, so that did slow him down a bit. Hopefully he can get some better luck as he makes his way through this next portion to turn it around.
Most certainly. It's still a fairly close race. It's still anybody's game. Just because they're behind by a good little bit doesn't mean that, especially with us coming up to Earth Cave, that is definitely a place where a lot of encounters happen, and a lot of really bad encounters can make the game certainly go either way.
Definitely. So we're coming up on another cutscene here where Boxmeister will just be blowing open the canal, which will allow us to leave this area and move on to our first major dungeon, the Earth Cave. And the Earth Cave is not a nice place.
It is not. It is full with ghouls that have paratouch. And the reason I'm getting the gold needles is because the cockatrices have stone touch, which gold needles are the only way right now to clear that off, as well as Pisco demons as a regular encounter, and finally Lich, which can be a reset point for a runs as well, because he does have the Blizzard spell, which no matter what we do not have enough HP to survive even at max HP right now.
Yeah, the kind of a double-edged sword to this equipment glitch is that you go through this game at a very low level comparatively, even in other versions of the speed one where we're already low level. In PSP, we're even further under leveled because we are compensating our stats with all of this overpowered gear. Like in GBA, for example, we are specifically watching our HPs so that by the time we get to Lich, we have about 150, just barely enough HP to have maybe like an 80% chance to live the Blizzara. Because of how underleveled we are here in the PSP version, no matter how our HP rolls are, we are not just not going to have enough HP to survive a Blizzara from Lich. So I anticipate all of our runners will be taking a safety save at Lich just in case, because even with all this equipment, Lich does have a chance to outspeed us, and if he outspeeds us, and if he decides to cast Blizzara on his first action, which he is more than likely to do because of how his AI favors spellcasting, that is just going to be an instant wipe for the party there. No amount of equipment that we have available can reduce that magic damage to a range that we can survive. So really, you're just hoping that when you get to Lich, your physical damage dealers, your warrior and your thief, outspeed him and get that damage range to deal out that 1200 HP here. So Box is the first one to enter the Earth Cave here, and he'll be making his way down very quickly here. So continuing this idea of early RPGs and a lot of fetch questing early on here, we need to go down into this Earth Cave to defeat, in essence, our second mini boss. If you can, okay, maybe third, depending on how you look at it. If you defined Pisca demons and Astoses as sort of like mini bosses, sort of things, there coming up, we down here in the Earth Cave, we are going to be fighting the vampire, which is, if you were to talk to a lot of the NPCs, was kind of meant to be a little bit of a bait to trick players into like, oh, the vampire is the actual fiend of Earth and is the one that ruined the town of Melmond, which I totally missed it actually. But when we went to Melmond here, we actually picked up a steel gloves, which we then used to glitch onto our warrior and our thief a weapon known as the barbarian sword, and this is bar none the most overpowered weapon in the game.
Even including the newer weapon.
Yeah, out of all the new weapons, it is just overpowered. If you watch on Ellie's screen and Canucker's screens right now in your upper right and lower left, they are currently buying the steel gloves, and they will be glitching it onto their party shortly. So if you missed it the first time on Box's screen, there you go, Barbarian Sword. And speaking of Box, he has just now made his way to the vampire. Given how quickly he got there, I believe he had very, very good encounter luck. The third floor where we are currently, where Box currently is very, very
Encounter heavy.
nice to say, as we one shot the vampire with that overpowered barbarian sword.
What's that?
Looks like Leo is making a second attempt at the puzzle now. I'm not sure if that was intended or maybe he forgot he did the puzzle out of Provoca. Maybe he just wants to give it another chance for that emergency exit, and it does not look like he got it. I unfortunately didn't catch it.
Neither did I, sadly. No, he did not. I don't see the emergency. He got a remedy instead.
Oh, okay.
Though, unfortunately, that is unfortunate. But if he did get it, it would have saved him a lot. It would save him. That is a 2-minute time save. As you can see, Boxmeister is trying to get out of the Earth Cave now. Leonis would have been able to get all that right after picking up the Star Ruby, which is our next progression item that we have to go give to the giant over here to get the starter, to get the rod, to get past the block, to get down to Lich.
And what Box is currently experiencing is kind of an example of why the Earth Cave is not a terribly nice place, because he's still on this third floor here, and the third floor is where pretty much every single encounter we don't want to see is in here. Those gas white combinations can potentially paralysis lock you. You have the Pisca demons, which are still unrunnable, so it's a forced fight. You have to kill them off in order to get through. Cockatrices have the stone trust, as we previously mentioned. To a lesser degree, you have the mummies in there, and they can put you to sleep, which means your party can't take any actions. So there's, I want to say, maybe like 6-7 different encounters, and more than half of them are bad stuff we don't want to see.
Most certainly, you definitely want to be able to either get preemptive or just not see him at all.
Mm-hmm. So looks like both Ellie and Canucker are making their way down to the vampire, as Leo has just made it to the third floor. So as a reminder too, this is 2 1v1 races side by side, being broadcasted side by side, as Ellie gets a Renin 64 Ochre Gel encounter. Very rare to see that on the third floor, but yes, it is a 2 1v1 races between Leonis07 and CreativeEly, as well as Canucker and Boxmeister. So this is not a four-way race for those just joining us, but we were commentating as best we can to cover everyone, keep everyone informed here.
Well, certainly, and Canuck got through his little roadblock, his little road speed bump of the vampire to pick up his Star Ruby.
Yeah.
While Box exits the Earth Cave.
Yeah. So from a four-way race perspective, it looks like Boxmeister might just be miles ahead of everyone. But if currently side by side, Canucker is still very close to catching Box. He's only about half a dungeon behind or so. So maybe like about a minute or so, and that can very, very easily be made up depending if Box can get some bad encounters, or if Canucker gets good encounter luck on the way out of the Earth Cave. And by comparison, Leo and Ellie, Ellie just picked up the Star Ruby. Leo just killed Vampire. Will be picking up that Star Ruby shortly. So overall, these two 1v1 races are still very, very close. It is still anyone's game.
Most certainly, just because it seems like Box is way ahead of Canucker doesn't mean anything. FF1 is a ton of RNG.
Hence total chaos. Canucker got very, very good encounter luck on that third floor there, and it looks like the game realized this and said, "Nope, we're gonna throw an ambush at you."
And sadly, is a huge group ambush of gargoyles, which thankfully aren't dangerous accounts. They're just fairly annoying.
Yeah, especially because we have thief armlets, what becomes their strongest trait, which is the fact that they are fast, becomes basically a moot point because we have so much agility that we're favorable to outrun them. Ellie unfortunately looks like got paralocked there, but the Black Mage was able to get that Judgment Staff up to clear that encounter, and this is why the Earth Cave is such a dangerous place, because if your entire party gets paralocked like that, or very close there, you just have to pray that one of your mages stays up or someone can get some kind of magic off to just clear out that party, because otherwise you would just be sitting there and just watching your time bleed away as you're just praying for one party member to come back up from paralysis.
Most
and Leo getting an unfortunate 9-pack ambush as well.
Oh, and he got paralocked too.
Okay, so now it's just a hope and pray here that when the whites and the gas apply their attacks, they're applying their paralysis touch, and every single time they do that, it's a chance to just reapply it there. So what Leo is hoping, and what looks like is happening at the moment, is that a majority of his party members in this moment, the warrior and the thief, should need to be taking the brunt of the attacks, because then it gives his other party members chances to come back out of the paralysis, because the paralysis touch isn't being reapplied there. But it looks like the game is not cooperating with him.
Most certainly not. Did he safety save on the third floor?
I did see a safety save when he entered the third floor. I don't know if he's taken another one since picking up the Star Ruby, however.
So at least he say so. So even if he does, the white mage got up, thankfully. So does he try to run, or no? He's gonna go for the Judgment Staff.
I do think that is the correct call. One of the things that comes with experience is, I believe, as you run this game down, is making that judgment call of, do I run, do I fight? And in that situation, when you have just sat through, I don't even want to think how long that paralysis lock was. I think it's just because even if we have all this gear, there's still a slight minuscule chance we don't run. And so I think it was better to, since we're already chancing that the white mage has to outspeed the enemies, better to take the guaranteed, just wipe the enemy and counter and end it right there, than have that minuscule percent chance that the run fails.
Most certainly. And Boxmeister is coming up to Vampire's room again, and going to use the rod that we got from Sarda to open the block to get down to Lich, while he gets paralocked.
Oh, that's...
Well, not completely, but at least the thief was able to get away from the specters.
All right, and it looks like the thief was able to make that run as well. Yeah, so after we grab the Earth Rod, which Ellie just grabbed on your top right there, we are able to come back to the Earth Cave here and smash this stone tablet that was blocking the stairs descending which Box just entered, to make our way to the bottom floors of the Earth Cave here.
Though these do have the same encounter tables as the third floor. Though once we get down to Lich's floor, thankfully, the encounter rate I do get is cut drastically down.
Yes, and
you shouldn't get any encounters on your way to Lich on that floor, at least. If maybe one. possibly
If
do.
you do run into any of them, there's nothing that's terribly dangerous there. The worst thing that can happen is you maybe get poisoned by the spiders or even maybe some of the jellies you run into on that one here. But there's nothing that's going to like outflight, just end your run and waste time by
The
like
best thing
paralysis
that
lock.
most of the in Boxmeister doing a safety save before Lich, which is a very good idea because as stated he can do Blizzard too, which wipes your party because we just don't have the HP to survive it. No matter even at max HP, we just don't have the HP to survive it at all.
Leo picking up his Earth Rod as Ellie is making their way back to the Earth Cave here. So probably I want to say maybe 30 seconds, no more than a minute between them there. So they're still very much neck and neck. And it looks like Box was able to get that first try Lich.
Very nice. Lich 1 and 2 can both be very big, bullies of the run. Just not so much costing you the run because a lot of people do safety save, but most certainly can cost you a lot of time of any of the 4 things.
Yeah, and the fortunate part being is that the first like major early hurdle to this run is now past here. The Lich is more or less I believe in PB attempts. The Lich is basically a gatekeeper as to whether or not you continue your run, because if you're trying to push down low times for PBs, then you want to make sure you get that first try Lich, because a reset there I believe it would take you at least 10 seconds just to get back into the game to attempt Lich, not even the time it would take you to mash through his text block to get back into the fight.
I think overall it's I think it's a minute time loss just to get back into the fight if he does cast the Blizzard. Though we're not out of the woods just yet for perilous areas. We do have Ice Cave coming up very shortly too.
Not nice cave. So to kind of catch up, I guess, on the plot now as Boxmeister makes his way down to Crescent Lake here, is after you've beaten the Lich, the game really does open up the world to you, so you can kind of you're given a lot more freedom to explore. But if you were to go look around, you would still find there's not a whole lot of places you can access here. So he's making his way down to Crescent Lake now, and we're going to grab ourselves a canoe, which gives us another method of overworld travel, which will allow us to grab, I guess, access a few more areas.
Exactly. Once we get to Crescent, we can get. We will once again be doing one more equipment swap match to get Lust Daggers, as well as Black Orbs onto everybody but the Warrior, as well as pick up the canoe, which then we'll be able to get to Ice Cave from. And from there, we'll be able to get the floater or the Levistone in this game and have access to the airship, which then gives us the complete freedom of the world.
And once we have that airship, that's when we will really start just making our way through the end game and just start our boss rush.
And well, once we get the airship, we still got a few more errands once we get the airship.
Oh, I just noticed on here. Okay, so Canucker was able to get it out of there. He just had 3 party members paralysis on a 6-pack cockatrice encounter, but fortunately the white mage was able to get out of there, so definitely dodged a bullet there.
Most certainly. That's why getting those gold needles is highly important, especially in race settings, to get that and then be able to, if you are able to run, actually get out of a very bad spot.
So Box right now currently glitching those Lust Daggers onto his mages, as well as Black Garbs onto everyone except the Warrior. As I previously mentioned, you to perform the equipment glitch, you need to have a party member that can equip the original item before you glitch it onto another party member. And the unfortunate part of the Mithril Axe, which is used to glitch the Black Garb, is that none of our other party members can equip it. So we can't use that to glitch Black Garbs onto our Warrior. So the warrior will still be stuck with thief armlets for a good portion of this upcoming section.
Until Sunken Shrine Witch. Then we got Canoe from the Unassuming Sage there, which always seemed really weird to me. They put that big important one right up front, which you think you have to talk to, but no, it's the one to the right of him.
Yeah, the most important looking one is the one that does not give you the item. They give him a unique sprite to have him tell you plot.
And Boxmeister and Canucker just downing Lich along with CreativeEly.
Yep, both of them got that
The
first
little-
try Lich there. They are very so that's very good to see. Well, we always want to see the first try Lich. Lich is most certainly not our friend. Leo making his way, looks like through the 4th floor, so he is certainly coming up on Lich very close behind here. Even with a second puzzle, I don't believe he is significantly behind here on this
Not
race.
at all.
Still very much close, and that I think is a very good example of just how much encounter RNG plays a factor into how well your run goes in this version of the game.
So we also got to mention one other thing: the biggest boss of the run, which is NPCs blocking the path, and you see them having to dodge bats. And as he goes through
Lufanians in Lufania, the blue hairs in Melmond and Seashra, or rather on Rock.
most certainly the most dangerous bosses of the game.
NPC true raid boss. Alright, so Leo has made his way to Lich's chamber, is taking that safety save there. So fingers crossed we get 4 for 4 first try Lich, as Boxmeister has now made his way to the ice cave and taking that. Did see that safety save right as he entered.
You definitely want to safety advice. You see, we have Pisco Demons, we have the Cockatrices. We also have White Dragons, which can very
Easy first try Lich for Leo.
Very nice. And then we also have one other really bad encounter of the Dark Mages, which casts Faraga, which, like Lazara, we cannot survive. I do not believe.
The fortunate part of the Dark Wizards is that they are, I want to say, about a 90% chance for ambush. I don't remember the exact number, but it's high enough where if you don't get the preemptive strike, or even worse, if the ambush occurs, that is just very, very unlucky RNG there because of how likely you are to get that preemptive strike to have the guaranteed run from them.
They do not have good agility versus yours, so you're very likely to get the preemptive. And if you don't, you are highly likely to run.
Yeah, and that Firaga, again, nothing we can do can survive that. So it's just very, very heartbreaking to see a wipe to those there. So both Ellie and Canucker have made their way to Crescent Lake. They are going to be glitching their black garbs and lust daggers onto their party. As Box is now stepped on another trap tile here. So there are a few of these throughout the game, and so how trap tile. I guess because we're in the ice cave, this is a good time to talk about trap tile, spike tile mechanics there. So there are certain tiles in the game, usually put in front of chests to guard them because protect the loot inside, where when you step on them, you are guaranteed to get an encounter on them. Now, the unique properties of this is that once you've finished that battle, that the property of the tile does not change. So if you were to, for example, step off of it and step back onto it, you will then trigger the exact same encounter on that tile. And the benefit of this is that because there's no change or in most cases there's very little change to the encounter that you run in there. It will, so if the tile says you will run into 0 to 1 of this enemy and 0 to 3 of this other enemy, you will always know that you will get some range of exactly those two combinations of enemies there. Now, what's unique about the ice cave is that we're fighting this evil eye on Box's screen is he is flagged as a boss. So boss flags do not have ambush or preemptive chance, but we that's good because it's consistently because we've glitched all this this agility equipment onto our party. We will always guarantee take our turn before the eye here, and so we are able to abuse this to just very, very quickly grind EXP by just stepping on and off of this evil eye tile over and over again.
Which he got fairly decent. Like, even though they get the Thundara, which is what you'd like to see to kill off the thief and the warrior instantly, the warrior did get turned to stone and the thief did get gazed to death, so he can continue the grind unabated at least.
That is very, very rare to see the eye cycle through his 4 different versions of gaze. You know, more often than not, even in normal runs, you will maybe see just the first version of gaze, which is the one that does damage. Maybe very rarely you'll see a paralysis one. He'll usually cast a Thundara but before he makes his way through those 4 gazes there. So it's a little bit slower, but the net result is still favorable for Box because it puts both the warrior and thief in a state where they will not gain EXP.
Exactly, and he wants to get his mages either just before 18 if he knows that route, or he wants to get them to 18 to make sure they get to level 19, so that way they can get Halara on the white mage, Lazara haste and teleport on the black mage coming out of Maryland.
Oh, Canucker got stone touch there on his black mage. We'll see if he can be able to get out of that one there.
Which he did, thankfully. So he's
very good.
He's still on his way to. He got 18 on his mages, so he's gonna be raising his thief and getting on out of there for Boxmeister. Another safety save, never a bad idea, just because you can still run into that, both either that dark mage ambush or white dragons and just get completely wiped out and have to do that whole grind over again.
Should also mention as well that you can still run into encounters on the off steps off of the trap tile. So
most certainly.
Yeah.
And there's the Faraga for Boxmeister.
Oh.
But he did survive it, thankfully. He got the low roll for Faraga.
He did get the low roll, but for no preemptive into all 3 run fail. Oh, that would have been very, very bad to see. I mean, he did have the white the safety save there, but oh my goodness. I see there was a question in chat. If this is a randomizer. No, this is not. We are playing the vanilla PSP version of Final Fantasy 1. So this is Final Fantasy 1 Anniversary.
And also, exactly, we don't have it randomized yet. As you can see, Canucker was taking some damage on there, but he didn't take a lot, which is weird. You normally want to see your thief and warrior down below 70. That way, the eye can one-shot them with the dart. I don't know what.
I'm not quite sure what might have been something where maybe he mismeasured and accidentally potioned up the other party members. Maybe it was something where like this didn't accumulate damage along the way. I can't see. I unfortunately missed what might have happened on that one there, but so that will cause a little bit of time loss there, and it looks like. Actually, because this is an unrunnable Pisca Demon encounter. Oh, okay, the Judgment Staff went off first. I was gonna say, what he could technically do is just stall on this fight and let those Pisca Demons just beat up his warrior and his thief for a little bit. But it looks like instead it's gonna be they're just gonna go straight to the eye and adapt from there.
Anybody could another thing with tiles in the game, we also have damage tiles, as you can see, which Leonis should be coming up to shortly. We see the little spikes on the floor deal damage to your party. It's weird they didn't just take damage on those throughout to get his warrior thief down, which is something you can do as well with those tiles. We can take abuse. We can abuse them to not get encounters. Whereas on those tiles, you get no encounters, which will abuse in Volcano coming up shortly.
All right, so it looks like Canucker is choosing to just stall on the eye, having the warrior and the thief do other things where that. Okay, so it looks like the Thundara didn't go off yet. So
He got one Thadara, but it's now
okay,
just cycling through his gazes.
okay, so taking the gaze route there. So actually did also get the good RNG there. So the warrior got stoned and the thief got death there. So worked out in the end there. As Ellie is now on the eye as well.
Though Canucker taking a little bit of the risky route to not go and pick up the Levistone.
Very important to grab that before you leave the ice cave. If you fall down, you have to go back and get it, and that means another eye fight.
Most certainly, which can take you off the EXP route, because once this is done, we want as little EXP as possible once we get the mages to 19.
Yeah, so we're actually looking for a very it's kind of a weird balance that needs to be struck for this party, because we want our other party members to have enough levels that they can, survive hits from chaos and the various different AoE attacks that he can potentially do. But we don't want the white mage specifically at such a high level that she outspeeds chaos, because we want her to go last in the party order to always guarantee that our party will be topped up back to full HP after chaos's attacks.
Now, let's see. Now, does Canucker remember the Levistone before he goes down?
Leo picking it up right away just to completely avoid that possibility.
Okay, Canucker did get the Levistone, very good. While Boxmeister is making his way through the Citadel Trials, and we'll take this Nightmare fourth encounter, which is another spike tower, which we can run from, but we do want to take it just with a little bit of extra EXP to get the mages on up to 19.
Yeah, and especially with all of the equipment we've glitched on, it's actually a fairly good chance to run from nightmares, versus in a more of a vanilla setting, you would most certainly have a hard time running from nightmares. Outside of preemptive, it would be on average faster just to defeat them in the battle.
Most certainly. Well, we're still fairly low on agility compared to nightmares, so we do have a decent chance of running from them, but it's just normally better just to go ahead and kill them.
It's much higher than in vanilla.
Oh, most certainly.
It looks like Leo is choosing to do the level 17 plus 1 extra eye strategy rather than going for the guaranteed 18 to make up a little bit of time here, but unfortunately got that ambush on the trap tile that you have to step on as you make your way out. Didn't get paralyzed and was able to very quickly make the way out there. So very quickly catching up to Ellie right on the heels.
Most certainly, and they're both on the way out while Mach and Canucker is making his way out of the river area of that, while Boxmeister is picking up the rat tail to take to Bahamut, and then taking the mandatory dragon zombie fight here.
This is actually very good to see if you needed those EXP for the 2 dragon zombies. 2 dragon zombies gives, I believe it's slightly less, just ever so slightly less than the same amount of EXP that you get from the eye. So those are very good to see. 2 dragon encounters are very good to see if you need to make up a little bit of EXP, because it's a possibility of either 1 or 2 dragon zombies.
Exactly, which you can also find them just roaming the floor, which is the rare encounter of the Citadel Trials at the very top. Though Canucker is awakening his airship, which we get a cutscene, we get a skip again.
If there was just like one quality of life change I would ask for that be just retroactively just magically patched into remakes of this game is just that cutscene skip, or and like take it one further and let us skip those cutscenes. That's after we beat the fiends, because those are just so slow just to sit there and wait for those to play out.
Most certainly the shrine cutscenes, yes, those, but they are nice little breaks throughout the run. Oh, and Sandworm, the one encounter you don't want to see as that's another encounter that can wipe you, but it is very rare for it to, as it has the move Earthquake, which, if rolls high enough, can indeed wipe your party.
We unfortunately do not have any armor that protects from instant death at the moment. So if you run into a sandworm, if it ambushes you, and if it decides for its first turn to cast Earthquake, that can lead to a potential full party wipe. So some runners, I believe, will take a safety save, like Leo has just done right when they land. Just take that safety save. Just don't even take that chance.
Ellie's having a little bit of trouble finding where to land, but there he goes. He got it now.
All right. So Box has now spoken to the Dragon King Bahamut, who said tasked us with proving our bravery. We presented him a rat tail, and he just said, "Good enough," and then bestowed upon us the power of class change.
Exactly, which we still leave a warrior dead because we're about to go to. Well, we have to go pick up the bottle and then go get the oxtail from Gaia, which this was in the original game fairly hard to do. So you have to come to this one patch of land, but thankfully we know where to go. And Boxmeister is also going to pick up giant tonics, which we're probably going to need for the chaos fight.
Yeah. We don't need 11 tonics specifically. It's just faster to do that one up input and buy 11 of them, because money is not an issue for us since we glitch all this equipment on there. It's so it's faster to just buy 11 of them than it is to press, I believe it's right 3 times to buy 3 tonics if we need them.
Exactly, and boxing the unrunnable encounter of the area of Hellhounds and Ogre Chief, which we're going to possibly see in Volcano as well. Which hopefully they do take safety saves, because Volcano is one where we do, as I said, we do a lot of that damage tile manipulation where we don't get encounters, but we do still have to run over areas that we can get encounters on. So a bad ambush can completely wipe your party there.
Yes, we do get dangerously low on HP in the volcano, and there are enemies which do have AoE attacks, and even if there weren't, the encounters that you run into there usually come in high enough packs that even if like say 3 of them decide to physically attack the party, if they all hit, that just might be a party wipe there. Leonis took a detour to pick up the gauntlets there, and I guess I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but I guess to kind of clarify why he decided to do that there. So the White Mage version of the Lust Dagger route is so called because the White Mage is usually your primary magic damage dealer, and what you do instead of buying the actual black magic spells on the Black Mage, you instead glitch equipment, which will, when used as an item in combat, cast a certain spell. So the benefit of the Black Mage route is that you do get access to Thundar early, but you have to kind of watch how much EXP your Black Mage gets, as they need to be a certain level to learn those spells. Versus on the White Mage route, you're guaranteed to get those spells because you glitch the item, but you don't have access to Thunder Magic until basically right now when you get to the Citadel.
Fox taking another safety save in Mount Gold as he's getting to the part where we have to do a lot of running on encounter tiles.
Yeah. So the property of these damage tiles, there were some icicle tiles in the ice cave, these lava tiles here. you take 1 damage every single time you take a step on them, but because of the properties of the tile, they don't have the chance to generate random encounters. So whereas maybe in a casual playthrough you would want to try to avoid stepping on as many lava tiles as possible, maybe stop to heal along the way, in a speedrun setting we want to step on as many lava tiles as possible, because lava tiles means no encounters, and no encounters means going fast.
Exactly, and Boxmeister making his way to Merilith, which isn't dangerous at all, thankfully, with the gear and the barbarian sword. I don't think she has a way to kill us.
Merilith, in remakes with I believe with most of the routes, is just very trivial in terms of as a boss. Is usually by the time in the speedrun rounds that we get to Merilith, we're at the intended level of the game in glitchless versions, which means we just completely kill her. She doesn't gate a lot of things there. She doesn't have a specific item in her dungeon that's needed for plot progression, so she's kind of just there to inform the party of like where to go next, and to give you a set destinations for, if you don't know where to go, you at least have something like, okay, well, I'm just going to go do this.
And while everyone else is doing the last little bit of running around, getting the fairies bottles, cutting into Bahamut, throwing the rat down in Bahamut, and getting the Oxale. Though, once again, just for people that are just now tuning in, this is not a 4-way race. This is a race between Leonis07 and CreativeEly, and then another race of Canucker versus Boxmeister. As well, this is also both games, so this is a double header. So right after this, we will be doing game number 2 versus with both these runners.
I believe Leonis and Ellie, I believe, are scheduled to do another race after this. I believe we will have 2 different runners for the second race though, as for our doubleheader.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like Box was able to get that high enough level 2 by haste for the ninja, so double haste hype.
Which is a thing that you might not be able to do depending on HP levels, but it's always a very nice thing.
Canucker dodged that NPC there. That NPC was 1 tile away from blocking his path up to make to this little lake where the fairy is, so very quickly got around that guy.
Yes, like I said, NPCs are the biggest hurdle of the game. CreativeEly seeming to be getting a little lost.
Leo's making the way to Volcano. So okay, so found Elfland, and I believe so they Ellie just got class change, and I believe now they are trying to sail. I unfortunately, I believe they did. Ellie did take the trip to the caravan and bought items, but I guess now it's just some confusion on do they buy the black magic now or is it afterwards? So it looks like opting to buy the haste and the haste spell now.
But they did not buy Bazaar to take care of water elements, which is a little weird.
Well, Ellie is running the white mage version of the route, so they have the black robe in their equipment already, which can cast the Bazaar spell. So they're covered there.
I did not see that they were doing the white mage route. Okay.
Yeah.
While Boxmeister is coming up to the best music of the game in Sunken Shrine.
Question in chat: is this randomized? For those just tuning in, no, this is not a randomized race. This is the vanilla PSP version. The tournament is named Total Chaos because RNG is such a huge factor in terms of encounter luck and things that can just happen, that it's RNG just causes what the name implies, total chaos.
As I can see, Boxmeister is fairly far out in front of everybody else just because they've gotten such good encounter luck and such good RNG on various bosses that they've been able just to pull ahead of everybody. But even with that, because of the RNG value of the game, Oh, it can easily swing back to Canucker for the race if they get a really bad Temple of Fiends revisited.
Yeah, Canucker is most certainly not out of this yet. If Boxmeister keeps running into these kind of unrunnable encounters as he currently is, that can open up an opportunity for Canucker to catch up in their 1v1 race. Leonis and CreativeEly, on the other hand, are very, very close overall in their race. What's it called? Leo just beating Marilith, Ellie now coming up to Marilith. So I want to say it's less than maybe a 30-second, 45-second gap between the two. If you look down on your lower right now, Boxmeister has picked up the Rosetta Stone, which is a progression item that we need for later in the game in order to access the 4th dungeon, and then he'll now teleport out to the 4th floor of the Sunken Shrine. It looks like Boxmeister is going to be taking the 2nd floor light axe. So one of the other things that we're picking up here in this Sea Shrine, besides some progression items, is we do grab one more piece of gear in order to glitch onto our party. I believe we grab the light axe. There's 2 light axes available in the dungeon. There's one on the 4th floor right before the mermaid floor, and there's another one on the second floor. This light axe we use to further progress our just agility stacking equipment, because I believe if I'm not mistaken, the light axe is used to glitch the survival vest onto the rest of the party, which gives us even more agility than the black garb we currently have equipped. So both Ellie and Canucker have beaten their Marilith fights there, as Leo has looks like finishing up his shopping for some magics there, making a way to has now landed and is going to make his way into the into Onrock and the Sea Shrine. Box getting unfortunate encounter luck from a back-to-back ghost encounter into a Sea Shark Sahagin Prince ambush there. But there's not a whole lot of danger to the party, especially at this point in the run. Okay. Boxmeister grabbing some gold chests here. I guess he thinks he might be short on some gear here. I actually don't know. Maybe he might have ended up grabbing the light axe on the 4th floor after all. But grab the ribbon. Okay, it looks like just a little bit of confusion on which chest they were supposed to grab. So I guess Box was looking for the light axe chest. So normally we duck into that room in different versions of the game. In a glitchless version of this run, for example, you would duck in there to grab the ribbon because we need to collect the ribbons for the party. So as Boxmeister is now using that light axe to glitch survival vest onto his party members, and that will finally get us a upgrade to our warriors equipment, because they've been sitting on thief armlets this whole time up until now. We're not going to put quite as many survival vests on the white mage. We will instead be doing a mix of survival vests and lordly robes. The lordly robes being glitched on through that healing staff that we picked up back in ordeals. And since Box accidentally picked up the ribbon that's in the Sea Shrine rather than the one that's in that you would normally pick up in the waterfall cavern, because in the menu already, saving a little bit of time to glitch, just take the opportunity to glitch the ribbon onto the party now. So the benefit of the equipment glitch is that the glitch goes both ways in terms of the memory index. So if you have a piece of armor, for example, like the ribbon, you can glitch that into a weapon, in this case the Giganta Axe, and then you can take that Giganta Axe in your party and then use that to glitch additional ribbons to the rest of the party, so we don't need to go out of the way to pick up extra ribbons. So Box making his way down through the final floor of the Sea Shrine, coming up on Kraken's chamber right now. Just got to make it through a few more random encounters, and it looks like Leo is opting to do the 4th floor light axe to grab the survival best. It's a few steps out. It's so the pros and cons of the 2nd floor versus 1st floor light axe, if I recall, if you were to grab the light axe on the 4th floor coming back from the mermaid's floor, it is slightly fewer steps than if you were to go out of the way to grab it on the 2nd floor, but you are more likely to you're generating those extra encounter chances and just the encounters that are available on the 4th floor. As Boxmeister just had that easy Kraken fight finish there. But yes, the encounters on the 4th floor are a lot more unfavorable because I believe, if I recall the encounter tables correctly, there's you're more likely to run into bad encounters which are just like unrunnable on the 4th floor, versus while you can still run them onto them on the 2nd floor, it's not quite as likely because I believe there's only like one maybe two slightly unfavored runnable encounters, versus on the 4th floor you have a chance to run to all 3 at a somewhat higher frequency.
Most certainly.
So Box has finished off his Kraken fight. Light has lit his 3rd crystal, excuse me, and will now be making his way up to the waterfall cavern. Canucker very shortly behind him. Leo and Ellie very, very close in their race. I believe there's maybe less than a floor. So Ellie is making their way down to the mermaid's floor to grab the Rosetta Stone. Leo is currently making his way to Kraken, so less than a dungeon separating the two.
Exactly. So, and as I said, just because Boxmeister is way ahead of Canucker doesn't mean that Canucker's out of the race. There's still Topher, as well as the Bridge of Destiny for Warmech to appear and ruin Boxmeister's day.
And even this waterfall cavern itself is actually fairly high chance of equalizing, just because the encounter rate in here, as you've seen, Boxmeister has now run into 3 encounters, 2 of which are nightmares. So the encounter table or the encounter rate in the waterfall cavern, even though it is a cave, and I believe for programming purposes, is fairly high compared to other dungeons with the same properties.
Most certainly, Waterfall Cave has a very high encounter, as well as for the normal run. For casual run, it's also a bit of a maze, so you can indeed get lost in here.
Canucker made a slight error, went to the wrong room with the chest there, and picked up the giant's gloves. In a glitchless run, that would be an item that you most certainly want to pick up, because that is just another way you can buff your party. But unfortunately, because we have all this overpowered gear, magic spell buffing isn't quite as required. As Leo has now made his way to his Kraken fight.
And Boxmeister picking up his warp cube, and then he's also going to pick up his ribbon.
Oh, he actually picked up the ribbon. He picked up the ribbon in the Sea Shrine by mistake, looking for the light axe, so he can actually skip the ribbon here. Since he's already done the Lordly Robe glitching.
Very nice.
Advanced strategies. Yeah, so normally you would need to pick up the ribbon and talk to the robot here, but since Box already did the ribbon from being in the Sea Shrine, just talk to the robot and teleport his way out.
And now he's on his way back to Melmon to get the Rosetta Zone translated, so we're going to Lufin, and then the finish, or however you want to pronounce it, and then make his way over to Lufania.
That's about an average Dr. Un NPC spot. The blue hair was more of an annoyance than Dr. Un was this time.
And just the way blue hairs work, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Although the
Canucker
blue hair is being
seems
nice and what's it called, getting out of the way, but we have teleport, so we don't even have to deal with him. So it's, you know,
Canucker seeming a little lost down in Kraken's floor. Wanted to make sure because this is a bit because you can go in a circle here, but he's got it now.
yeah, never what's it called, never a bad thing to just be safe. Double check if you have any notes or maps handy. Just, you know, take a few seconds, just double check, get your bearings, because what you especially don't want to happen is just you go around in circles and waste even more time just trying to figure out where you're going.
Most certainly waste more time, get boring random encounters. As we said, we do want the white mage to be a low level to where she doesn't outspeed chaos.
We will already be a fairly low level at the chaos fight comparatively. I believe we'll be somewhere in the mid 20s for the final fight. But yeah, if even because of how much gear we are equipping, if that level starts to approach the high 20s, if the worst happens and we get up into the 30s there, that can very much throw off the rhythm of the chaos fight there and make it from a near guaranteed fight where the scariest turn is probably the first to one that you're just at the mercy of RNG after that.
You normally want to hit chaos at about, you want your white mage to be level 23, level 24, maybe 25. That's really starting to push the agility envelope where she might be able to outspeed chaos.
We do take measures by unequipping all of the agility gear and just putting Lordly Roads, which gives her a massive buff to her intelligence, but still, we with how in a vanilla setting, or I guess in a glitchless setting, where you know we're about in the 30s for the white mage. I can actually attest from running glitchless, and I guess actually in GBA, which PSP has a lot of its programming drawn from, even at something as minuscule as, you know, level 30, you know, just a couple levels difference off of that there, the white mage actually does have, just from base speed, enough of a chance to outspeed chaos and go first in the turn order.
Though I do believe there is a backup, if you know it, to where you can push the white mage's speed past chaos's, where it always goes first, and then once again your scariest turn is going to be the first turn, but after that you normally can heal up before chaos attack.
Right. It's the chaos fight is just purely a matter of consistently knowing, you know, that your party, that when that white mage is gonna go. If
Exactly.
you know the white mage will consistently go last, you know, you're in the best spot. It's not optimal, but if you consistently know the white mage will always go first, then that's still, you know, a much better place to be in than going, the white mage will go second, the white mage might go first, fourth. I don't know. It depends on what the RNG wants to do this round.
Exactly. You never want to speed tie chaos.
So, looks like for our other races there, Leo is now making his way down to Lufania. For the plot significance for Lufania is that we were going down there to pick up the chine, which is needed to access the Mirage Tower that Boxmeister is currently in.
Exactly. Which for here we need the cube, which we got from the robot, to get through to this teleporter to get to the Sky Castle.
But first we have to make ourselves some Blue Dragon steaks. Nice 777.
And here the only, in which a lot of people don't realize, the only elementals that are runnable, which are the air elementals.
Yes, the air elementals are in fact the one elemental in the game that are in the base game that are runnable. The problem is that air elementals have such high agility that you are very, very unlikely to run from them, and it's much faster just to kill them. Leo got a little bit unfortunate luck there. That NPC decided to block him for all the way through the bridge. but managed to push his way through and now has his chime.
And Canucker getting horrible RNG on the Paralytic and Cockatrice fight. And he's going to opt to just kill him instead.
Oh yes, poor Scythe correctly pointing out that one thing I forgot. What my statement is true in vanilla that you are unlikely to run from them because we have all of this glitched agility gear in glitched any percent. In the regular 80% route, we actually are pretty favorable to run from air elementals.
I mean, I can debate that with my runs, but that's neither here nor there.
Friendly reminder: what's it called? Total chaos is purely implied off of RNG. So Boxmeister taking that safety save on the the Bridge of Destiny here on the 5th floor of the Sky Fortress because there is a 1 in 64 chance of running to a little known enemy known as Warmac.
As well, even though I said Lich is the really big thing that can ruin a run, Tiamat can also do double Thunderbolt and ruin your day too.
Yes, Tiamat is programmed with all of the AoE elemental skills of the various different dragons. Fortunately, getting her perfect turn order for Box, the haste went on the ninja, and then both the ninja and the warrior went first in the turn order. So just one shot, one round Tiamat right there did not actually have to worry about any of those AoE damage skills whatsoever.
Always a really good thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
While Ellie's getting her cube, and she get the ribbon from the waterfall cave. She now has to wait for the robot to move where she can get her ribbon from the chest here.
Yeah. Fortunately, what you can do to kind of push up to get NPCs out of your ways, you can push up against them to get them to move faster, but ultimately which direction they still move is still random. You can push up against an NPC and it decides to walk into you for several steps before it moves in a different direction.
Oh yeah.
So Boxmeister unfortunately did not run into a Warmech, so our little death machine friend is still having a bit of stage fright. We have yet to see him on the in the tournament setting here. We hopefully want to see him make an appearance.
Well, Boxmeister is making his way to Tofu.
Temple of Fiends Revisited or the Chaos Shrine. We got a little bit of a cutscene here. So this is a cutscene that was added because they added one specific new dungeon to the PSP version. I believe it's called the Soul of Chaos here. So this is just meant to show you where specifically that dungeon is. But
sadly, because when you do casual run, as you play it casually, you can accidentally go back there instead of going into here for thinking that's the way to chaos.
Yeah, the original NES version of this game, and it kind of carried over into the remakes because of how they based their programming on it, was very, very, like, I guess poor is a way to put it, in terms of directing you where to go without you specifically asking around for it. Like what they intended for you to do was kind of talk to a lot of the NPCs for you to determine direction. I believe there's actually supposed to be some spot either in Mirage Tower or Sky Fortress that was supposed to show you the Chaos Shrine as meant to be. That's like your final destination to go. But I mean, if you didn't have the loot, for example, which is impossible in remakes of the game because they force it to give it to you, but like even if you knew where to go, nothing tells you that there's like maybe 1 or 2 NPCs that tell you you're supposed to talk to the princess to get the loot. So if you didn't know that, you'd just kind of be going around here. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do here now?
Exactly, which thanks to the randomizer, actually, we also found out that door is also meant to key locked to get to the old Phantom Room as well. And Ellie seems to be having a little bit of trouble finding where to. Okay, she found a lift in, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually get to Chaos Shrine like in the randomizer and not have the Mythic Key, and not be able to get into Phantom Room because that room is Mythic Key lock.
Yeah. So Box now has made his way past the Death Eye, running to unrunnable Dragon Zombie encounter, but Box is certainly in the final stretches of this game, making his way through the last few floors here.
Oh yes, but we still got one more gatekeeper, which is Lich 2, which double flare can wipe your party.
Oh yeah, no flare into just Lich going very much all in on his spell list and circling back around to flare is something very, very scary because for as is well known if you're familiar with Final Fantasies, flare is a non-elemental spell. We have gear that gives us magic defense, but specifically for elemental magic, not non-elemental magic. We don't have anything that can reduce that damage. So if we get bad turn order, if we get bad damage rolls, Lich can decide to cast Flare and can drop, potentially 3-4 members of our party.
Exactly. Or just decide to go first and flare regardless, and then you're stuck with just the warrior and maybe the white mage.
Yeah. So I guess to put into perspective this equipment glitch is that the equipment glitch, while it makes us very, very strong, in terms of actual stats, we are basically on the same level as the refight bosses, as Chaos. We actually do not beat them in terms of the physical stats, so there's always that chance of like speed. Oh, Leo is got ambushed by the 4 white dragons.
Oh,
That's 2 ice storms so far. The black mage goes down. Okay, so only 2 ice storms, so not the worst outcome.
3. And there goes the white mage, but the thief got to run away. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
that's
is why
another
always
thing that
important
can
to
happen
take safety
way down
saves
the
in the
list.
Temple of Fiends.
And Boxmeister definitely taking the safety save before Lich 2. And let's see how. Well, no, actually, I thought he was going into Lich, but he instead got into the Earth Elemental.
That's unfortunate to see another Earth Elemental encounter there because the Earth Elementals are unrunnable. But yeah, that is one common thing there is that if you're unsure whether to, because the tiles that have the Lich encounter are all directly next to the stairs. Sometimes if you want to play it safe, you'll save just outside of that one square so you don't accidentally like down input into it. But if you do that, there's a chance that when you come out of your menu, you take the one step and you just get an encounter before your final boss.
Hasting up the ninja again, and Lich decides to be nice to Boxmeister. No flare.
Alright, physical attacks are fine. We have so much physical defense that physical hits are not a problem, and that's a nice 2-round Lich. So as we're coming up towards this end game here, Boxmeister is in just full final boss go mode. He's just got to make his way through these floors, beat all these dungeons here. Canucker slightly behind, maybe a little over 1 dungeon behind, just has to beat Tiamat before making his way into the Chaos Shrine. Leonis is making his descent down to the elemental floors, just has to make it through some unrunnable encounters before getting to the elemental floors here. And Ellie's finishing up their Mirage Tower now, will be shortly into the Sky Fortress to fight Tiamat.
Though with Canucker a couple floors away, if you want to see, you might want to get your Blessed Orange units in chat for Warmac.
Bless RNG, Warmac, take my energy. The unique thing about Warmac is he actually is, even though he's notorious as a pseudo super boss, he is still programmed just like any other random encounter. So you're favorable to get preemptive strikes against him.
And you can run from him. He is
not to commentator's curse, knock on wood. He has the potential to ambush you.
He does.
If he does, he has a skill called Nuke, and that can wipe your party. And this is unique. This is uniquely relevant for me, especially because not a week ago, when I was running a GBA run, I was at Tiamat. I got to Bridge of Destiny, ran into Warmech, got ambushed. He physicaled one party member and then nuked my party, and then killed me. And I hadn't saved since I just entered the Flying Fortress, so I had to do all 5 floors again. So,
and Boxmeister taking down Kraken 2.
Canucker also took out Tiamat 1 very quickly there. So a few more steps to make it out with that. So there's still a chance for Warmech here. So if you want to see Warmech on Canukker's screen, now is your last chance here. Get those blessed RNGs and in chat.
And our last chance, Ellie's about to come up to the Bridge of Destiny as well.
Oh, right.
And Lich was not kind to Leonis. He did look like he got a flare off, but Leonis did at least take him down before it got too bad.
Yeah, looks like it was a later turn flare, so was able to get some damage down before that flare came out, which is always good to see. So no Warmech on Canukker's screen. Ellie getting ambushed by Mind Flayer, Clay Golem. Not the worst thing because we have with our item.
Does
Oh wow!
Have ribbon on the warrior yet?
Well, the unique properties of the Pisca demons. It's really weird because I believe it's this thing called time elemental magic or something like that there, and ribbons and a lot of the things there don't defend against that. So while we have very high magic defense, we can usually dodge it if the Pisca demon, or excuse me, the Mind Flayer crits on their skill. It can actually still bypass the status protections from the ribbons and such.
And Boxmaster coming up to his chaos fight. Really good levels, level 24. He already got his equipment set up, took left dagger off the white mage to reduce that agility. And he should be good to go.
Did Box remember to ether up the ninja?
I didn't see that if he did or didn't.
Because that so the nice thing about having haste on the ninja that's relevant specifically for the chaos fight is that if you have haste on the ninja and if your ninja has enough HP that you can avoid throwing a Giant's Tonic on him. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he hit that HP threshold there, but you can actually, instead of having the ninja just start attacking after the Giant's Tonic is thrown, then the ninja can actually haste himself, and then that saves a turn of setup because the black mage only has to haste up the warrior and himself.
Boxmaster going for the risky strats.
Electing not to Ooh, okay, interesting. Threw the tonic onto the ninja first. Alright, so the Blaze is the reason why the first turn is the scariest, because that is the highest damaging AoE attack that Chaos can do on his first turn, but it looks like the ninja was able to survive. The ninja and the black mage survived. So Box opted to set up the haste on the warrior and his the ninja and then is now taking 2 turns to throw Giant's Tonics onto the ninja and the black mage now. So the worst of it is over. Okay, physical from chaos is fine. The worst of it is over. So actually, this is a very good spot to be in, because now all of the both the physical attackers and the black mage, who now has a barbarian sword equipped, both have haste on it, and Box is now in hold X to win.
Yes, he most certainly is.
So Leo has now made it to Tiamat's floor, very shortly behind pace in terms of where Boxmeister is. Ellie has now finished up the Flying Fortress. Will be making their way down to the Chaos Shrine, and Canucker has now made it to the floor right before the elemental floors, but it looks like is a little bit lost. So just probably double checking to see what to do for this encounter, and then hopefully can double check which way they need to go.
Well, certainly. And Boxmeister.
Boxmeister that's time for Boxmeister has beaten Chaos down. Very well played.
With the official SOL time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 42 seconds.
Hi.
Alright. Welcome, Box.
Hey, Boxmaster.
Woo! I had... Thank you. I had some fun with the seat.
Yeah, so we'll probably get our racers in here. We'll get a post game perspective from them here. We'll just wait out for a couple of our other racers to get in here. So it looks like Leonis has now just started his chaos fight there. Canucker a little bit lost, but has now made it through the backtracking on the Chaos Shrine, is now on the elemental refight floors there.
Yes, he is.
Alright, and then so Leonis has started his chaos fight. Leo was also able to get haste on the ninja, so Leo is opting to haste up the party and then throw the single giant's tonic down on the ninja. 310 HP. HP was a potential there for tonicless on the ninja. Could have thrown it on the black mage, but definitely playing it safe there by just throwing that giant's tonic onto the ninja just in case, because if Chaos high rolls on some of his AoE spells, the ninja can still go down even at the 300 or so HP there. Oh, and Canucker got flared. Oh.
Yeah, that's rough when that happens.
And he saved outside of Topher instead of.
So did have the safety save, but unfortunately looks like we'll have to backtrack through the Chaos Shrine again in order to make it back down there.
Yeah, you can only survive a flare on Lich 2 if you have really high HP going on your party. So if you're fully healed up, then you might have a chance to survive. I had that happen during my previous 2 matches, and I only luckily survived because my HP was high. So you really need some luck if you want to survive that.
Leo is opting to not tonic and the black mage and is defending. I'm not sure. Maybe he might have forgot to menu to get the barbarian sword onto the black mage there, so just opted to just haste with the party members, and we'll just be doing it with the 2 physical damage there.
It's about as fast to not menu the black mage properly with the route he's taking. So it's.
I see. Okay.
So it's a choice you can go for.
Okay, I see.
Oh, and he got to the garage on Chaos.
Wow, Chaos went very, very aggressive with his going very, very aggressive with his spells. That then normally what we want to see is either physicals or his AoE skill attacks, because while the AoE skills do waste time. Oh, wow, the haste going off as well.
Exactly. Leonis is not in a good spot on this Chaos fight.
So this is very much so a damage race against Chaos here. We're trying to edge out that 20,000 HP before Chaos gets to his 8th spell.
Well, it's something else is going to happen first. His White Mage also has a limited MP pool. So before that, his White Mage MP will give out, and then he's really in trouble because he needs to heal up his White Mage. Basically.
And unfortunately, cannot to take a turn to Ether the White Mage would only buy maybe about 2 extra rounds of healing, but then you critically lose that one round that you would heal, so that puts you in a very.
He got it though. He is done.
Yes, he is.
All right, able to edge it out.
Whoo! That was a spectacular chaos fight, I'd say.
All right, so of our two double header races here, Boxmeister is victorious over Canucker in this round of the group stages, and Leonis has beaten Chaos over CreativeEly. Both very well done by both runners, and so we would just now be watching through Ellie and Canucker, making sure that they can finish off this race strong.
Hopefully Eli saves.
Yeah, Ellie coming up now on the Lich fight, opting to not save, and ooh, this is risky, especially because the party is not full healed.
He's using ultrats.
Oh, and there's the flare.
Oh no.
Oh god, no.
Low roll.
The low road with the lust daggers
yes.
physicals was not able to get that 3,000. The party did live. Party members did live.
Yes, Mario should be able to finish. Mario should be able to
okay,
finish it.
The warrior low road, but the white mage was able to finish it off.
Yes, okay, cool.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, I had that happen yesterday evening. That's your heart is racing at that point. Dear Lord. but he managed to pull through. So if he's wise, he'll save.
Yeah, and we are now joined in by Leonis.
Leo.
I did
Welcome, Leo.
everything I could for showing Chaos moveset, really.
That you did. You showed just how dangerous chaos can be, most certainly.
I know, right? I mean, I had to pay a respect for the group name Kuraja, so might as well get it.
Well played.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well played. Congratulations on your match.
Yeah, that's not the best I could have. Guess I got through it. Ah, that was disasterific. As a famous NPC would be saying inside the right episode, but
Most certainly would. I think you got Paralocked in Earth Cave as well as ambushed White Dragons. You had a couple close calls there.
This is all I have to say.
That's about the appropriate response sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Ellie just finishing off the Marilift fight now, as Canucker has made his way back to just before Lich 2. So taking that safety save now double checking, make sure that all parties all set to go.
I don't blame anyone for taking that safety save in a race, because Lich 2 is just a RNG at that point.
Yeah, especially when Flare is the first spell he can use.
Yeah,
but he got a second fight.
Flareless Lich for Canucker. Well done.
Yeah, after Lich 2, you're safe for a good while, right until Chaos.
I mean, Team at 2 can be kind of a bully going with Scourge and
Usually,
Thunderbolt.
Usually, TMF cost me my Black Mage or something stupid.
Ellie getting some very unfortunate encounter luck is now. I've looked away and looked back several times between the runner's screens here, but every single time I've looked back has just had water elementals on screen.
Well, Ellie's getting a little lost on the water
A
floor.
little bit lost, yeah.
He is going the wrong way.
I think he's getting back to it.
So, talking about the match that was going on, like, for real, was Ellie at least ahead of me at some point?
Yes, he was.
Ellie, there were quite a few moments in the early game, especially up through Earth Cave, where you folks traded the leads back and forth.
Yeah.
You were actually in last place for quite some time because I had to restream open, so because I was like, okay, how safe can I play this? Because usually if I see that I'm in a comfortable lead, I tend to take a little bit more safety saves.
Yeah, I believe it wasn't until probably about like after the ice cave and going through like ordeals and such where you started to edge out ahead of Ellie.
Yeah, that's when Ellie started to get a little lost on the overworld, unfortunately.
Okay.
So Ellie is doing the ultras from what I can gather?
Yes, Ellie is doing the white mage lust dagger.
Yeah, just like me then.
Yeah.
Though, Leonis, I noticed you tried the puzzle twice.
Yeah, I was feeling like it. I was like, I mean, the general stuff I had in mind, like for the main dynamic of my run, was like, it's as if in real life you were walking onto a straight path with nothing ahead, and then at some point you come to an intersection and there's an indication for, do you want to take the normal encounter or do you want an ambush? And I straight go to the ambush. Most of the
Also-
time.
Ellie and
Also-
Canucker have just beaten out their Kraken fights now, so
Canucker caught up. Nice.
I mean, I'm surprised that the winner wasn't even near the 130. I was like, Boxmeister, please do something. Hit the dump button.
I had a lot of encounters. A lot of them were preemptive strikes, though. But still, I had a lot of encounters. So there was not much I could do about that.
okay,
Yeah.
Canucker did catch it. And it was healed up the party, but was just about to run into Tiamat 2 without re-ethering the white mage. So very, very, very good that caught that because not that might have, if healing was required, would have been a very bad situation to have a white mage with 2 MP.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you heal before or after the fights.
Ellie finishing off Tiamat 2. Oh, just down to the ninja for Canucker.
You got it
Canucker,
down.
he should be.
Alright, Tiamat 2 down. So both Ellie and Canucker now on to the Chaos fight.
So I guess my only good segment was when I didn't get any encounter on the Marilith floor.
Yeah, just about.
I had a gold split on the chime. I was
Ooh.
surprised by that. So let's see. Yeah, but for the most part, I lost a ton of time getting out of the cavern of Earth on my way to Earthworld.
Oh, don't talk to me about that. Earth Cave and Ice Cave, if just like in my chat, if someone had to translate it into a song, it would give like ain't no party like a pisco party. Because that's how it was.
My
I was
ice
asking for them, but
my ice cave was filled with disco demons, and on the way out, I was almost out when I had an ambush by dark fighters, and they put a Firaga on me, and I barely managed to pull through that.
What's it called? My heart was racing at that point.
Oh,
That was scary.
That I was like, I had saved not too far before for that, luckily, but still I was like, don't do this to me, please.
So Ellie has now started up the chaos fight there. I saw uniquely for Ellie glitch the golden staff onto the white mage's weapon slot. I believe that's something that's unique to the white mage version of the Lust Dagger route.
Yes.
yeah, because you don't take the item into the Elfheim's castle that creates the Sage's staff.
Oh,
You
I see. Okay,
You only go for the Mithril hammer.
Yes.
I see. So that's what you use to remove the Lust Dagger and give that intelligence boosting on that one there. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the white mage route uses. That's what I've used, and you used it as well, I believe.
Yeah, so technically we heal for less than if the white mage had the Sage's staff, but usually it's enough for surviving the whole fight. Like, I'm proof of it. It's enough to survive a haste and a chaos on physical under haste. So
For a few seconds, I thought you made the same mistake as I did, because I had 191 HP on my black mage, and I was like, oh crap! I also had haste on my ninja, and I was like, okay, I'll use haste with the ninja and giant tonic with the warrior, but I accidentally giant tonic my ninja, so I giant tonic my black mage on the second turn actually.
yeah, me too. Well, it's the other way around. Like, my black mage was just a lost cause, so I just left him with the Lust Dagger and the primary stuff with the ribbon. He lasted pretty long, And I was like, oh yeah, I need to Giant Sonic my ninja because he's near 280. That's not safe enough. And at the moment I throw the Giant Sonic, I'm like, oh, it was actually having 310 HP. Could have gotten.
Oh,
So
what
Canucker
I-
getting some bad luck
That's
there. So
exactly, I saw
back-to-back
something on
physical on the
Canucker.
warrior, taking
Well,
it out.
No.
Canucker never glitched the thief armlets off of his warrior.
Oh, okay.
I saw that as he was setting up for chaos, and I was hoping he would see it and put survival vest on, but he never did.
Right, Thief's Arm. I've had it happen in the past as well, and I forgot to glitch the survival vest on the warrior.
And Ellie has beaten chaos.
Yay!
GG Ellie. Well done.
JJ, race 2 now.
Alright, so we're just gonna just got Canucker here. Here, finishing up this chaos fight. I believe Canucker is still in an okay position.
He is. He had the ninja fully case. He had the black mage. He should be fine. Chaos isn't going through his spell list, so he should be perfectly.
What is this all physical chaos? I want this in more runs.
Right?
All physical chaos is fast.
All physical chaos is dangerous because you do have a pretty high chance to get criticals on your party members, and that's for a white mage an insta kill, for example.
Oh,
Usually.
Unfortunately the slower did hit on the black mage there as the cyclone is coming out on chaos now. So, but looks like Canucker is opting to just push through on the damage. Not sure if he's gonna take a separate turn to reapply that haste onto the black. Oh, doesn't even need it. That is time for Canucker.
Good.
Exactly.
I was afraid that he was gonna run out on MP on his white mage.
He's still averaging about 2,500 damage per round there, so still very good for the favorable for damage.
Yeah,
raising that
definitely.
there. But yeah, I'm not sure. Are we going to get Ellie and Canucker in for a post game?
I don't know.
Just
I mean, I'm
very
gonna
well
be
done to all four of our
back
racers
off
here. We're just getting
in
to
a
see
minute.
some things here, see where we're at for the street post game interviews.
Right, I'm also gonna go off from Discord for the duration of the next
No,
race.
not
I'm
a
gonna
problem,
come
Leo.
back.
Yeah, I understand. So for those of you, yeah, Leonis and Ellie will be doing another their second round of this race back to back, and we will actually be joined, I believe, by two other racers for our second doubleheader today for this stream. So yeah,
So-
we will.
That up now.
Yeah, I'll be heading off as well. Gonna take a nice drink to celebrate my victory.
Very well played, Boxmeister. Thank you again for joining us here in this race.
Yeah. Good luck on. I want to wish the other races we were going for the second match good luck, but unfortunately Leo is already out. So
Yes.
let's hope it's a good one.
Okay, so
Teaser.
Ellie will be passing out interview, so we're just waiting on see if Canucker wants to say anything.
Though in the next race will be with Leonis and Ellie, as well as Tenshi and Couch 23.
Yeah. So, if you folks enjoyed this race, stick around. We're just gonna be, we will be having a second round after this. There, just want, we'll just see if we can get Canucker in here.
See you guys later.
All right. Thank you again, Box. Alright, so just a brief update here. We're just waiting for a response from Canucker to see if we can get a post-game interview. So in the meantime, yeah, we allow Leonis and Ellie set up on for their next race, as well as get ourselves organized here to get Tenchi and Couch in set up for their races here. So I guess while we're waiting, I just want to thank everyone that's here with us today to view all these races, and I want to especially thank Speed Gaming for hosting the restream to allow us to do this race here for this for the tournament today. Very, very appreciative of that.
Yes, most certainly. Thank you very much, Speed Game, for letting us show off this tournament as well as all the organizers and help to
Everybody behind the
get this
scenes.
set up. Yes. And Canucker did decline for the interview.
Okay, all right. So we will be taking a little bit of a break here as we set up for our next race here. But stick around. We will be having more Final Fantasy 1 any percent races for you shortly.